You do when the United States government and all elements of it, including neuroscience and its global network, have your body infested and crippled and booby-trapped so they can not only track you via satellite and Four Winds capacity, but torture you as they hone in on your location and infest and create their false environments. What do you do with that information when you know that you're just simply walking down the street? You are then predated by homosexual men, a network of what was being called the mafia, but it's not the mafia at all. It's all government endorsed, so that means the CIA, FBI, the United States government, basically. I mean, we can see the political affiliation. It's all over my website. I've told you what I experienced. So I left the country. And for the years that they have been terrorizing my life and tormenting and torturing my physiology and the social harassment, which is obviously a network of predatory homosexual men, you don't even want to hear my attitude towards the gay communities at this stage because it's not nice. I treat every individual as they prove to be, but at this stage it's been enough of my life that I want justice. And so that looked like Rinsky right there. So simply like traveling down the street, walking down the street, out then deploys neuroscience, Four Winds ambulances and phony authoritative vehicles and their HIV/AIDS, Four Winds infested crowds, and follow my location, stalk my location. Remember now, folks, they're wearing my neurology. So they had like full visual interface, retina technology interface. We all know what they've done to my spinal cord. We all know what they've done to my hip. We all know what they're doing in my sternum and gut. And we all know how they target individuals and breed their technologies within them and all kinds of horrific, slave trading capacities. Trust me, it's true. I'm still enduring it. And I left the United States permanently in 2017 and still being targeted by their networks overseas. So the slightest thing, if the minute I attempt to do absolutely anything, I get treated like a Four Winds victim, like a Four Winds personnel, because I'm stalked and predated and harassed, my life infested by individuals and groups that have HIV/AIDS. I'm HIV negative, but they refuse to leave. And so what restrictions and perimeters are placed on them, I am then forced to endure. And not to mention, folks, when you review the financial oppression, right, it's all been documented now. In fact, I'll have you check my bank account and see exactly what just occurred and see how they've maintained this network of oppression for all these years. So what do you do with that, folks? What do you do with that reality? Where you can't even walk down the street without the environment immediately becoming infested with Four Winds personnel, seemingly from thin air. So it's quantum physics there. And then torturing my physiology while they then scurry about and organize these false environments and these mythical codes and restrictions and so on. But it's really just trying to railroad into, as they call outside your comfort zone. Does the situation in any way, shape or form, folks, reflect any form of comfort whatsoever? So for all these years, folks, it's criminal what they've done to my life. And I want justice, and nothing short of. So I think tonight I'm going to send a series of emails, one to the Clinton administration, one to the Boxer administration, one to the Bush administration, and a few others, and express exactly what the United States of America has become in my life and what their groups and individuals have become in my life. There's a list of people that I'll be mentioning. I just saw it. I'm certain the woman thinks that not the woman thinks, I'm certain that Rhea, the annoyance, the pest, thinks that she resembled the woman I commented on. And immediately thereafter they began this, that's another thing they love to do right there. Whatever they've compromised in you, they'll boast that in others. And that's how it's been permanently. So my mobility, my energy, all those things can be infested and compromised at the drop of a hat. Listen, I'm not interested in people's apologies. I don't give a shit. If I find out my mother or Mike or whoever's involved, then I want justice. I'm not interested in discussing anything. I want justice. for all the years of my life that have been compromised, for the pain and suffering. Still, I want justice. Couldn't give a shit about someone's opinion or perspective or any of that crap. Justice. There's legality, there's the law, and there's criminality. And this is criminal, what they do, what they've done. So I'm going to publish this information online. I'm also going to play you some videos and recordings of the sustained social harassment. And then I want to determine which homosexual or bisexual groups, either organizations or federations, encompass this neuroscience network of terrorism. As it is, folks, they're terrorists. So it doesn't matter where I am in the world, it's always the same hive minds, it's always the same groups, probably even the same people or humanoids. You've all seen how they can change their appearance, right? So what do you do with that when you're enslaved by that? Your entire existence, absolutely everything. They've even got technology within your cerebral energy that they claim is reading your mind. And they've infested you so badly that your visual field is part of their network, their grid, their display. What do you do with that? And absolutely everything you seek in life is infested and compromised by them. What do you do with that? Do you think that sooner or later you just share the story with the world and express precisely where you are and exactly what they do? Or you think that you diplomatize? Remember now, Barcelona met me in 2004 in exactly the same situation. In exactly the same situation. No, 2012. In exactly the same situation. Was I here in 2004? Let's see where. No, I stayed in Britain. I didn't. 2012, 2011 actually. In exactly the same situation, being predated, being harassed, being stalked, being tormented, infested, and MK Ultra food chemical laced and poisoned. For all these years, folks, with witnesses, I've never had a chance to address matters in a court of law. I've never once had any kind of real legal representation. It's only ever been neuroscience infesting and violating my life. That's another thing they love to do. Wherever they see me, that's what they intend in my life. Now remember how restricted and oppressed it really is, because folks, they intended to infect the HIV virus and sweep it all under the rug of these fucking things, of these characters you see stalking me. I'm not talking about the locals, folks. I would never do that. Because as far as I'm concerned, this city has shown me respect. I'm talking about neuroscience now. And, the groups, invariably, when you see them over from Portland, Oregon, invariably, it doesn't matter who they are, select few. Invariably, you see this madness reinstate immediately. And so there I was, went to sleep last night, relatively no pain. Woke up, my shoulder and knee were in such agony I could barely even move. So I endure, and then wander off to go to the gym and stay in shape. And immediately they begin deploying in around me and nerve shock tormenting my legs. In fact, they've got something inside my hip, even though it's loosened somewhat, it's still there. And so it tugs and yanks and jerks at the mobility. There's also something in the groin region, the gut, so on and so forth. This is what they've been doing for years, and now it's my shoulder they've been trying to. It feels like they've been trying to cripple it. See, once again, you see just a character running past, right? Bullshit. That's neuroscience. They know, they can feel what's being done to my legs, and I'm supposed to admire that. I'm supposed to, to revere and respect them for it. So don't forget now, this all started with that fucking cunt, Giselle, when they suddenly started emphasizing her peppy little walk and crippling my ability to run on the beach, and then introducing the symbolism of Bill Clinton and Jesse and Giselle riding racing cycles. Because remember, they wanted to railroad me into their homosexual, bisexual bullshit. So for all these, I've not even acknowledged Giselle since 2010, politely. And yet, in the year of our Lord 2023, they're still sweating me with the same shit. So what do you do with that, folks, when you know that a network of people and governments and countries have ruined your life to this extent? And you have no freedom, you have no privacy, you have absolutely nothing but torture and torment and plagiarism and neural interfacing exploitation. What do you do with it? Terrorism, what do you do with that, folks? You're going to hear this story. You're going to hear it very clearly, and I'll be sure to publish this online.